The restoration of the monarchy, Charles II. Charles II, Charles' first son, had spent his exile in France. He was an admiral of the Sun King, Louis XIV, and he had the French tastes. Therefore, when the monarchy was restored in 1660 and he came back to England, he established a court devoted to pleasure. Theatres, race courses, and taverns reopened, and fashion and gossip replaced religious debate. The reaction to the Civil War and Puritan Commonwealth varied from the rejection of strict morality to a more rational interest in the real, present world, rather than a concentration on the life of the soul. In 1662, Charles patronized the Royal Society, which was an association of scientists and intellectuals. The motto of the society, Nullius in verba, on the word of no one, was a direct challenge to the dependence of the old philosophy on authorities. Among its members were the physicist and chemist Robert Boyle, the diarists John Evelyn and Samuel Pepys, and the architect Sir Christopher Wren. As regards home policy, the landowners, both nobles and gentry, resumed their leadership of society, and the newly elected Parliament, the so-called Cavalier Parliament, met in 1661. It ordered the bodies of the regicide, including Cromwell, to be exhumed and hanged. A series of acts were passed, like the Corporation Act, which excluded the dissenters from public offices. The Act of Uniformity, which imposed the use of the Book of Common Prayer, and the Test Act, which required all public employees to conform to the Church of England. The Great Plague and the Great Fire. In 1665, there was a devastating outbreak of bubonic plague, and in 1666, the Great Fire of London raged for 5 days, destroying 9/10 of the buildings within the city's medieval walls. Charles II asked the architect Sir Christopher Wren to rebuild the old insanitary city. Wren presented a plan for a new city with wide streets and squares, buildings and churches in the neoclassical style. St. Paul's Cathedral was his masterpiece. Charles II was able to finance his projects with the aid of France, who offered cash when the king's relationship with Parliament was difficult. In 1670, he signed the Treaty of Dover in preparation for a joint war against Holland. This treaty also contained a secret agreement that would restore Britain to Catholicism with the military aid of France. So, when Charles died in 1685, the succession of his brother James, who had converted to Catholicism, was assured.